Have you ever woken up after a breakup feeling like your entire world just hit reset, but not in a good way? One minute you're texting goodnight, planning weekend getaways, and building dreams around we. The next, you're sitting in silence, staring at your phone, replaying every moment, trying to figure out what went wrong and where you went wrong. The chaos of a breakup doesn't just mess with your heart. It shatters your routine, your confidence, your sense of direction. It's more than losing a person. It's losing a version of yourself you thought was secure, stable, and maybe even permanent. But here's the truth. The version of you that existed in that relationship, she's not gone. She's evolving. You see, a breakup, no matter how painful, is also one of life's most powerful reset buttons. It can either bury you in pain or build you into the strongest, clearest, most magnetic version of yourself. And that choice, it's entirely yours. This video isn't about crying into ice cream or getting revenge. It's about reinvention. It's about peeling back the layers of who you were for him so you can rediscover who you are for you. Whether your breakup ended in betrayal, silence, or a long, slow fade, this is your moment. Your chaos isn't a curse, it's a catalyst. Because the woman who walks through the storm and chooses to rebuild, she doesn't come back the same. She comes back wiser, clearer, stronger, and yes, glowing in a way that no man could ever dim again. You know that moment when the door closes, not gently, but with the kind of slam that echoes? That's what a breakup feels like. Whether you saw it coming or it hit you like a truck out of nowhere, breakups are messy. One minute, you're dreaming about your future together. The next, you're staring at old texts, wondering how something so good turned into silence. The routines you built, the inside jokes, the emotional safety, all suddenly gone. It's chaos, not just in your heart, but in your mind, your confidence, your entire sense of self. You're not alone. Every woman watching this has been there, curled up on the couch, stalking social media, replaying conversations in your head, thinking, what did I do wrong? And it's okay to feel that way. It's part of the storm. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. The breakup isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, one where you are the main character again. This video is for you, the woman who's tired of crying over someone who stopped choosing her. The woman ready to rebuild, rediscover, and reinvent herself, not for him, but for her. Because the chaos of a breakup? That's fertile ground for transformation. On today's episode of Cracking the Man Code Today, we're diving deep into what it really means to reinvent yourself after a breakup. Not the cliche, get a haircut and post a thirst trap kind of reinvention. We're talking about building emotional resilience, reclaiming your power, upgrading your standards, and becoming the woman who no longer chases, because she attracts. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, stay with me. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's crack the code to your next level glow up, starting right now. Meet Leah. She thought she had it all figured out. A steady relationship, shared routines, long-term plans, and a boyfriend who knew her favorite takeout order by heart. They talked about moving in together, maybe even starting a family. For 4 years, Leah built her world with him at the center. Then, without warning, it all crumbled. The breakup came out of nowhere. No long fights, no drawn-out tension. Just a short, cold conversation that ended with, "I don't think I can do this anymore." Suddenly, Leah was alone in a shared apartment filled with memories. Photos on the wall, his hoodie in the closet, plans on the calendar that no longer made sense. The days that followed were a blur. She cried, she questioned, she blamed herself. She deleted his number only to type it back in a day later. Every quiet moment felt like a personal attack. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Worst of all, she couldn't recognize the woman staring back at her in the mirror. Leah said, "It wasn't just losing him. It was like I lost me too." And that's what so many women feel but are afraid to admit. The chaos of a breakup isn't just about love lost. It's about identity shattered. You question your worth. You doubt your instincts. You wonder if you'll ever feel whole again. But here's what changed for Leah. She gave herself permission to fall apart and then to rebuild. She started small, unfollowed him on social media, took herself out to coffee on Sunday mornings, got back into her old hobbies. She wrote letters she never sent. She cried in the shower. She laughed with friends. She allowed the grief and the growth to exist side by side. Over time, she didn't just heal, she transformed. Today, Leah will tell you the breakup was the best thing that ever happened to her. Not because she didn't love him, but because she finally learned to love herself more. Her story isn't unique. It's proof that heartbreak, as devastating as it is, can also be the catalyst for the most powerful reinvention of your life. And if Leah can walk through that chaos and come out glowing, so can you. So, what now? You've cried the tears, asked the why, and sat in the silence that follows a breakup. But now comes the most important part of your story, the turning point. The moment you stop waiting for closure, or for them to come back, or for the pain to magically disappear, and instead, you choose you. Reinvention begins with self-discovery. You've been defined by we for so long that it's time to reintroduce yourself to you. What lights you up? What makes you feel alive? Try new things. Journal your thoughts. Spend time alone, not in loneliness, but in listening to the woman you're becoming. This isn't about distracting yourself. It's about reconnecting with the version of you that existed before him and evolving her into something even stronger. Next, set new goals. Start small. Maybe it's finally taking that solo trip, signing up for a course, hitting the gym, or saving for a dream apartment. These goals don't have to be about revenge or proving anything to anyone. They're about realignment. They remind you that your life is still yours to shape, day by day, brick by brick. And finally, you must embrace change. Reinvention requires releasing the version of you that was built for someone else. That version served her purpose, but she doesn't belong in your next chapter. You might lose people. You might face doubts. But every transformation starts with disruption. Real change isn't polished or perfect. It's messy, it's scary, and it's absolutely worth it. So pause for a second and ask yourself, what do I want my next chapter to look like? Because here's the truth. Your breakup isn't your breakdown. It's your breakthrough. And the woman you're becoming, she's not just healing, she's leveling up. You don't need to wait for the pain to pass to start again. You start now, today, with one decision. I choose me. From this moment forward, you're not chasing closure. You're chasing clarity. And with clarity comes power, the power to write your own story on your own terms. The journey of reinvention doesn't happen overnight. It's not some big cinematic makeover moment. It's quiet. It's personal. And it's made up of small, consistent decisions that start to reshape your life from the inside out. At first, implementing these changes feels unnatural. Going out alone, journaling instead of texting him, setting goals when all you want is to stay in bed. It's uncomfortable, but it's also necessary. Growth lives just beyond that discomfort. Leah, the woman we talked about earlier, didn't wake up confident and glowing. It took time. She fell back into old habits more than once. She had setbacks, she missed him, she doubted herself. But with each choice, whether it was going to therapy, deleting his photos, or signing up for a painting class, she reclaimed a piece of her identity. And slowly, her world started to shift. She stopped measuring her worth by someone else's affection. She started walking taller, speaking with more clarity, and making decisions rooted in self-respect. New friendships blossomed. Her career took a turn she never expected, because she finally gave herself the chance to dream for herself, not for a couple. That's the real beauty of reinvention. It doesn't just help you move on. It opens doors you never saw coming. When you start showing up for yourself, life responds. You attract healthier relationships. You gain emotional strength. And most importantly, you build an unshakable trust in your own voice. Yes, the heartbreak hurt. Yes, the process was hard. But look at where you are now, or where you could be in just a few months. This journey is a reminder that even in your most vulnerable state, you hold incredible power. And that power isn't in pretending to be okay. It's in choosing to rise, one step at a time. You're not rebuilding the old you. You're becoming someone better, someone stronger, someone who finally realizes she never needed him to be whole. So let's take a breath and bring it all together. Breakups are brutal. They shake your identity, fracture your routine, and leave you questioning everything, especially yourself. But here's what we've seen today. Even in the messiest, most painful heartbreaks, there is opportunity, a chance to pause, reflect, and most of all, reinvent. We followed Leah's journey through the emotional wreckage, the silence, the self-doubt, and into healing, rediscovery, and personal growth. And the truth is, her story could be your story too. Because the pain you're feeling right now isn't a dead end, it's a redirection. First, we talked about the importance of self-discovery, relearning who you are when no one's watching. Then we explored goal setting, no matter how small, as a way to rebuild a future that feels yours. And finally, we embraced change, not as a loss, but as a stepping stone to becoming someone more. Reinvention doesn't erase your past, it honors it. It says, yes, I've been broken, but I'm still standing. And eventually you'll look back and realize this chapter, the one you thought would break you, actually made you unshakable. So if you're still hurting, still healing, still unsure, keep going. There's strength in your struggle, there's wisdom in your wounds, and there is power in your choice to rise. You don't need a perfect plan, you just need a willing heart. The rest will come. If this video spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Cracking the Man Code today for more tools, truths, and real talk about love, loss, and leveling up. Because, girl, you're not broken. You're just beginning again. And this time, you're the hero of your own story.